Previously on Unranked.
We have been lied to. I'm in the store. I'm doing my business. Entirely poo-pooing. This is at work, so I have a full. It's a floor-to-ceiling whole shebang. I hear a coworker of mine use the, and we're the only two people in the office. So it's like
so
I know,
who it is.
I know who it is. They know that I'm in there. They get in the other store, and I'm hearing stuff. What is the point? If I can hear stuff, they can hear stuff.
I think it's crazy that there's anyone out there that is making any kind of noise with any kind of like risk that anyone could hear you. Like when I go to the bathroom and it's a public place, I am like, I feel like I'm trying to sneak it.
Yeah,
I have to put my headphones in.
It's Ethan Hunt slowly lowering. Like you're just like
Yeah.
slowly like
yeah.
But I
can't use a toilet in public without noise in my ears. Like I gotta put earphones in. I gotta put something on so I can
you
just
go
like
full blast without really knowing what's going on.
No, just
like
because then I just gotta pretend like I'm not in this environment. I'll put my sunglasses on. Like if I can just pretend as if I'm not even here.
He's like blind, deaf.
Yeah,
I'm sure it will make an appearance in the previously on. But yeah, go ahead. Nice.
Hello and welcome. It's the 399th episode of the Unranked podcast. This is Christian Humes. We have Alex Tuna Marinello and
Hello.
Tom Caswell.
Hi.
Well, you didn't even let me say hello, but it's fine.
Oh, I mean,
you went right
speak
to
through. Speak through, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You know,
I guess.
you guess. How are we doing? How's everybody doing?
What's what's interesting, Christian? I feel like it's been a long time since we have played a game that has lasted this many weeks on the podcast in terms of talking about it. Yeah. We played Halo for a little bit, couple weeks, and then we dropped off, right? But Walkabout Mini Golf is still going strong. Still a nice leisurely 18-hole, little lunchtime 18-hole. It's great. It's fantastic.
This feels like Smash. Like I feel like I'm in the early days still. There's a lot. There's a lot to happen with this game still. Is what I believe. Tom, we got to get you on the green.
Yeah, Tom, you look like you're busy right now. You're not even looking at us. You're looking down at your phone. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I've got to order something off of Amazon, so I'm just
no. We're talking Walkabout Mini Golf. Get your game face on. Get the club.
I mean, look, I'm never gonna be out on the consistency that you guys are hitting the links. But
that's disappointing.
I'm glad it's in my life, and I'm glad it's a consistent thing. It is very fun. Shout out to Noah Reno in the live chat. What the hell is up Unranked? What is up with you, Noah? Remember, you can join us live every week when we record this by joining our Spartan program on Discord, where there's also a lot of Walkabout Mini Golf chatter that cannot be escaped. But it's a good game.
We'll talk a little bit more about it.
We'll get to the Pokemon because I got like a
you got a thing?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get to it. What are we on? 399?
Yeah. Next week is 400.
Wow.
It's 399th Pokemon. Alex, the name of this Pokemon is Bidoof.
Oh, Bidoof. I even know what it is.
What a disappointment for
this sucks.
309.
Yeah.
Next week is gonna suck, man. Next week is gonna suck.
Yeah. Oh my God. On July 1st, 2021, the Pokemon Company created Bidoof Day with several events related to this Pokemon in various media such as Pokemon Go, cards, and on Pokemon TV. They released a music video parodying Never Gonna Give You Up entitled Bidoof Day Announcement. Months later, the official Pokemon YouTube account released Bidoof's Big Stand, a short film focused on the story of a Bidoof. Wow.
Here's what I'll say about Bidoof. I'm going to try and find something positive to say about Bidoof.
I don't think you need to, because the name origin is Bidoof may be a combination of beaver and doofus.
Oh, I
which
thought
is
it
a
was
stupid
bidet
person.
and oof.
You would think, but no, it's beaver and doofus.
Mm.
So I don't think you need to say anything nice about this person. This
I
person's
look
just stupid.
I'm just gonna say this. I look at this
Mhm.
Pokemon and I think if these were real, they would be very popular. They would be very cute. There'd be people would
You
love
think
them.
so? Those teeth?
Yes. Yeah.
Do people
come on, it'd
think
be
beavers are cute? No.
It would be pretty cute in real life.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Do they? I've never heard anybody call a
Yeah.
beaver cute in my life.
I think they're
You got a cute beaver.
all right. Well. All right.
Look, if Prue can make the beaver joke on Great British Baking Show, then I can make it on this podcast.
That's a good point, actually.
I'm gonna read you something from the Pokedex about Bidoof.
I do have one positive thing to say about it. I do think that kind of like Starly, out of all the rodent Pokemon that we get and have, I think this is on the higher tier. I'm just like periodically not a fan of the rodent Pokemon in general. So
I'm sorry, say that again. The
rodent.
what Pokemon? Oh, the
rodent.
Rodent.
The rodent.
Thank you.
Pokemon.
Thank you.
I'm not a fan of them in general, so like they just like automatically get docked points. But I would say that this is higher on the totem pole than a lot of the other rodents that we get. So I'll give it that. Still off to a strongish start.
Is there a capybara Pokemon yet?
Is a capybara a real creature? Oh, I'm thinking of a jackalope.
What?
Oh man!
I was like, capybara is one of those like fake. Like, is it a fake creature? Is a real creature?
Were you thinking chupacabra?
Chupacabra. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Not
God damn it. Yeah. Is jackalope real or is that fake?
No, that's fake. Yeah,
that's fake.
Yeah, it's like a rabbit with antlers. It's
right,
not real.
Right. It's a deer rabbit, right? I don't know. Could be. It seems
they
viable.
have blue ones in Zelda. You chase them into caves.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true. Yes, the boobles. Yeah. I was thinking chupacabra.
I'm gonna give you purposefully amongst like its original generation of Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I'm gonna give you the worst, what I think is the most boring possible Pokedex entry for this Pokemon from Pokemon Platinum. A comparison revealed that Bidoof's front teeth grow at the same rate as Rattata's.
Oh wow! We needed that information.
You'd prepared me for it being incredibly boring. I didn't. I was unprepared.
Yeah.
So, like,
who came up with that? Who was like, we need something for Bidoof? They're like, I don't know what Pokemon was that? They're like, isn't that kind of like Rattata? Yeah, just say it's something like Rattata. All right.
His teeth are the same. It's a Mad Lib,
which actually is more interesting for Rattata, who is like a mouse. Or rat, I guess you could say a rat, but I think it's a mouse Pokemon. It's listed as, but
that's probably its listing. Yeah.
But it's got beaver-sized teeth. That means that's more interesting for the other Pokemon than it is for Bidoof, who's more beaver-like.
It does. Rattata does have some big old chompers.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So, there we go. All right.
We're gonna move on from this Pokemon and into the rest of the show. How's everybody been? Alex, you got the hood up?
I do.
You feeling the dark side today?
I am.
Yeah.
Tell
me about it.
Side. No. So I guess you could say this is a complaint. If you want to hit me with the complaint music, we'll do it now.
Oh.
Do not have it. Okay. So. No.
Yes? Yeah, it's not on here. What the hell happened?
Well, I haven't done it in a while, so you probably got rid of it to save space. So, all right. So before I came down to do this podcast, Britt and I were upstairs watching Jersey Shore. I'm not really. I mean, I'm kind of watching it, but she's watching it.
Like the new episodes?
New episodes.
They're making new episodes of the Jersey Shore.
They've been making new episodes of the Jersey Shore for years now.
Really? I thought that definitely ended. Interesting.
No, they did. They came back.
They came back to do Family Vacation, and they're older. And
is it the original cast?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So Sammy Sweetheart wasn't in it, and then Ron left the show. So Sammy Sweetheart came back, but now Ron
which one went to jail?
Mike the Situation, who is now, I would say, one of the most mature people on the show.
That's so funny.
So, and he's like not crazy at all. Like he's actually
Great.
like the voice of reason. It's actually kind of funny. And that's not the point. The point is that we
remember some of these people.
The point is that we were watching the show and I was on my phone because it's like it's just the Jersey Shore, who gives a shit.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling through like Instagram, and one of my Instagram, like I guess like I don't know, reels or whatever just played, and she goes, seriously? Like I'm trying to watch it. Like didn't even give me a second to lower the volume, right? Like not even a second.
Oh boy.
And I was like, I'm sorry, right? And then I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. You are on your phone constantly watching shit while I'm watching. It's gonna be
the end of their marriage.
And then I thought, and then I brought this up, and it's okay. So then I let it go, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it go. And then it happened again. It happened again, and literally not even a second went by before I tried to lower it, and she goes, "Are you kidding me?" Okay, so I had to bring it up, and I don't know if I told you guys this, but I brought up to her, I said, you do realize that when I wanted to watch Dungeons and Dragons, you were on your phone the entire movie with the sound on TikTok, and I didn't say a word. And her rationale for that was, well, I was on my phone first before you started playing the movie. Therefore, I get to be on my phone.
You were interrupting her.
I was interrupting her.
Fucking get her,
Dungeons
Tuna.
and Dragons. Okay,
Go.
I was interrupting her with Dungeons and Dragons. So then I say, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I got up and I go, I'm going to do the podcast. I love you too. I came down here.
Oh, so this was literally like
this was right before we started.
Wow.
Wow, man.
The rationale that she was on her phone before the movie started.
Yeah.
Therefore, she gets to, I mean,
something
is unbelievable to me. Here's another thing that I happened to me on the way. So
a funny thing happened to me on the way to the podcast.
Yeah,
as I walked down the stairs.
So yesterday I went into the city for work.
Yeah,
and I could have drove in, but I didn't want to. I just was like, you know what? I kind of just want to sit on the train and not have to worry about driving. So I woke up, kind of early. And I walked to the train station because I can't park at the train station. I'm gonna have a parking pass because I never park over there, so I'm not paying for it. Anyway, I'm walking to the train station. I'm crossing the street. Guy's making a turn. I guess he doesn't see me. It's dark. I'm not wearing reflective clothing. He almost hits me. If I didn't run, like pep in the step, if I didn't run, I totally would have been hit. And I would have been hit pretty hard. He came
what's
around
the
that
difference,
corner.
running or pep in the step? There's like
pep is like I launched off my foot.
Oh,
really
sure,
quick.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Like I kind of jumped. Like it wasn't like I was running. I don't think I would have gotten the speed. My complaint is that my life did not flash before my eyes.
But you didn't almost die.
I did. It was very close. He came around that corner really fast. I totally would have died. I would have been underneath
in this situation. Tuna's upset in his brain and not the guy that almost ran him over. He's like, brain, what are you doing? I needed to see the birth of my child and waiting in line for the Xbox.
Yeah, what would you want on that list?
Oh,
I don't know, but like I was expecting something. Nothing happened.
You really think it was a death situation?
It totally was. It totally was. I didn't realize.
So this will be on that. Like when you do die and you get to see the list and you're like, all right, show me all the times I almost died. This will be on.
Oh, this will be on it. This will be the ones that I will be aware of. Maybe there was one where I took a flight and they fixed one of the things before we took off, and if they didn't, like who knows? But my heart wasn't even like I was expecting my heart to be like I was expecting to be palpitate. I was expecting sweats. I just walked.
It sounds like you were in shock.
I guess, but my
Maybe
brain
you're still in shock.
I was honestly a little mad, and I turned around.
Alex
to
has
look
no fight.
Who?
Alex has no fight or flight.
Who
His
are you
body
mad
just
at?
his
What are
body
you mad at?
I was mad
respond.
at the driver of the car, but he sped away because he knew he fucked up, because he knew I was gonna yell, but it was like, oh, it's 6:15 in the morning. Like, fuck, I'm too tired. So like, I mean, I almost died.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. Okay.
Glad you're here.
So who you mad at? I'm confused.
I'm mad at the driver, and I'm
Okay.
mad at my brain.
It's the whole brain body problem, Tom.
This is such a
The brain and the body aren't speaking to
I'm
each
mad
other.
at
The brain
driver,
doesn't know what the
and
body
I'm mad at the
does.
brain. Yeah, the brain doesn't know what the body's doing.
Well,
Oh
I've
my
never
God,
had a
I
near
can't
death.
believe how we're just reliving that podcast. It's insane.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
never
wait,
had a near-death experience, so this was my first one, and I really thought that like
It was disappointing.
I really thought the whole like life before your eyes thing people say. So there's none of that going on.
I could be mistaken.
I don't even think I had a thought of anybody. Like, I didn't think of anyone. My kid, my wife, nothing. I thought of nothing.
Well, you were still upset. Well, I mean, yeah, you're upset about the.
Did you have your morning coffee
Dungeons
yet?
Dragons thing.
No, I hadn't had my morning coffee yet.
This is why you weren't awake yet.
I
You still may as well have been sleeping.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
that's a good point.
Were you listening to anything?
I was listening to things.
You were somewhere else. This is why.
I'm surprised you were able
weren't in
to
the
jump
moment.
out of the way. You were tired, distracted.
That's
The
the
fact
fact. You
that- Well,
look
the
at
thing
the
is-
like.
the thing is, I
disclaimer
wasn't-
on podcasts. It says like near-death
Yeah.
experiences will not be like had while listening to this podcast.
I will tell you this: I was distracted, but not that much. I had noticed this guy coming down the street pretty quickly, and I was in the middle of the crosswalk thinking, this guy might turn, and if he does, I don't know that he sees me. Like, I remember having that thought, and then he did, and I was like, oh my God. I don't go. Actually, I'm adding that editorializing now. I don't think I had a thought. I just jumped.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
I could be wrong, but I was always
Okay.
under the impression that the flash before the eyes come when you have a like near-death experience in which you come very close to death, where
That was
like you would
close.
have, where like you would have been hit,
No.
but you survive, kind of a thing, or like you're in a car accident, or like
Mhm.
something happens where you are in even more imminent danger, and in that,
felt imminent.
this feels
Felt
more like a
imminent.
close call.
That's a close call. That's a near death.
Yeah, but what Chris is saying is like if you had been hit by the car and
Yeah.
like your life was
Flown.
draining from you.
And I was
Yeah.
flown off.
Your
and
body
I'm
wasn't
in the
near
air.
death. Your health
just
meter needs
spinning
to be
through the-
low. You know that
Yeah.
like 10%, like you get down to the
Mhm.
10% health meter, and sometimes like your super can pop.
But you
Like,
had a
that's
full,
what you need.
But you had a full stamina bar, so you were
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to.
exactly.
Yep.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you're alive, and I'm
Yes.
sorry that you have a bad brain.
Yeah. The other thing,
It's like you had Spidey sense being able to jump out of that way.
Yeah, I'm surprised
bit,
you
yeah.
didn't like flip over
The
the,
little,
car and like
the thing popped
No.
up around his
way
Yeah.
too fat. Way too fat now.
dodge.
But
Way too
going,
fat.
I will say this: going to the city sucks. It
Mm.
is not that the city sucks. The city's the city. The city, I don't think has changed. Penn Station's actually nicer than it was.
Mhm.
My complaint with the commuting is the time. Like the fact that I had to wait.
Yeah.
Like I wasted 3 hours total in commuting. Like it
Yeah.
sucks. Or commuting / getting ready to go to work. Whereas now, roll out of bed, come down here, get to work. But yeah, commute sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, sorry to hear that. When you
Yep.
Alex sent us a photo from the city,
Yeah.
and I swear to God, I had to look at it. It was like at nighttime. I really had to look at it for a minute and zoom in. Because I'm like, is this his way of telling us he's playing Spider-Man by sending us a photo? Like I thought maybe it was an in-game picture for a second. But it's not.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, I bet you we could replicate that pretty
You know what?
authentically.
I tried. The tower looks pretty different.
Okay.
it
I couldn't get the right angles
So-
for
so-
it at all.
So the other interesting thing about some of the towers because like the Chrysler building doesn't exist in the game because
Yeah.
of
Why?
copyright. Because
Yeah,
of
there's
copyright.
there's
Oh,
copyright stuff. Yeah.
please.
So there's stuff where
Yeah.
the buildings have to be changed slightly so that
So Freedom Tower's there, but it's really also not.
It's not the free. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Oh,
dude.
that's so weird. And
so
annoying.
many of the buildings in the city like have these.
It's not the
these
video
things.
game's fault. It's the
No,
people
of
who
course
own
not.
the
But that's so
buildings,
stupid. Like
Yeah.
you can't just replicate a city. It's a city. That's just. I feel like that's taking that a
It's
little.
on
too
Google
far.
Maps.
Take it to court.
They got it on Google Maps. Why can't I?
Oh
go
my
on
god.
game?
Okay. Wait. Speaking of Google Maps,
Oh,
for
here we
some
go.
reason,
Here we go.
I got really into GeoSeeker. Not
Okay.
playing it. I was watching that World Cup. Like it was. I was in. I was into it, man.
I've heard of GeoSeeker.
Is this the same thing as GeoGuessr?
I'm sorry. Did I
that's what
say
he
the?
meant.
That's what I meant. GeoGuessr. It's
What is-
GeoGuessr World Cup.
Yeah. So what's GeoGuessr? What is it?
You're shown up. So there's 3. Okay, so the World Cup was done with
World
there's
Cup?
3. Yeah. So there's 3 different modes. The first mode is you are given a photo.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. You're basically plopped into like Google Maps in an area, and you're given 60 seconds to. You can move around. You can try to see if you can figure out where you are, and then you pull up a map and you put a point down on where you think you are. That's the first one. Okay, that's the first mode, and the first 2, however far away you are from the actual point, determines your score. And if you're closer, you don't lose points. If you're further than your opponent, you do lose points, and it ranks up every picture that they show you. Round 2 is you can move, but you can't. I'm sorry, you can like pan and tilt, but you cannot move in the north, south, east, west directions.
Okay.
That's a little bit harder. And then the last round is you cannot move at all. That is the picture. You have to just discern where you are just from the photo. And these guys and gals and peoples, are amazing. I mean, it's incredible. Like they know based on like telephone poles and construction and
type
fauna,
of road signs, what
Yeah,
my
flora.
license plates
life-
look
I mean, it's
like.
amazing.
Yeah, my
It's
life is
where the
flashing
sun
before my
is.
eyes right now.
Where- yeah,
and
they
I
do where the sun
remember
is, yeah.
a video that I watched where someone was describing how they do this, and they're like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
there was one picture, and I looked in the reflection of a mirror, and I saw a license plate, and only one country has the color of that license
Right.
plate, and I knew that it couldn't be one of the two,
Right.
because this thing was wrong."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Or they base it sometimes on if in the moving rounds, sometimes the car itself is a giveaway. If it's being followed by a police escort, that's a giveaway. If the electrical poles are colored in a certain pattern, that's a giveaway. It's just very cool. But the best rounds I thought were the ones where they are not allowed to move and they just have to just go based on what they see. And they kind of just base it on like the flora and
How close are
architecture
people
if they
getting?
can. Very close.
Yeah.
Very close. Sometimes they're right on it.
There's another version of this as well. And there's a guy I watch on TikTok who does it, and he does the reverse way where people will be like, and Alex, you got to, I'll find one, I'll send it to you. This person will be like, this is the only photo I have with, my mom. She passed away when I was a child. I have no idea where this was taken. And it's just like them in front of like a lake. And they're like, can you find this? They have no idea where it is. And the guy just like looks at it. He looks at like the patterns of the trees, the types of the trees. And then it just like starts zooming in on the planet. And he takes them exactly to where it is. And like these people were in like, they were like, we live in the Northeast, but it was actually like in France. Then they were like, oh my God, that's right. I was told we took a trip there. Like this person figured this out. It's insanity. People will just send them pictures like, hey, I don't know where this photo was taken. Can you find it? And that's like also crazy because they can't, that's basically the equivalent of being on the street and not being able to look around because you're trying to work backwards from a photo.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like magic.
It's incredible. In college, we did, this is the first thing I thought Geoguessr was this thing that we did in college for a spell, which was, there was like an app and it would have, like a location, like a park name or something, or like a street corner or something like that. And there'd be like a riddle or a clue, and someone would have hid like a small.
I think that's
a small capsule.
GeoSeeker.
No, I don't. I texted my friend who did a documentary.
Oh,
on
you're
it in
thinking
college.
of geocaching.
Geocaching,
which is what
yes.
Pokemon Go was based on. Niantic had the biggest geocaching game there was, and then they built Pokemon Go on basically the foundation of that.
What's in something. But you would go there, there'd be like a riddle or a clue, they'd be ranked in difficulty, where it was like 5 stars, this is very difficult to find or whatever. And you would find, there was one I remember that was like in a pipe or something, and you'd pull out like a little capsule, and there'd be like a scrap of paper, and you'd add like your name and the date and put it back in and put it back. We played that for like months at a time, like my sophomore year of college, to the point where there would be multiple nights where we'd go out and do it, and we would not come back until the sun was up. It was those days.
That's awesome.
Wild times.
Wild times. But yeah, big fan of the geocaching. But that's cool. Geoguessing. Geo
dude.
That's why they got the inspiration for him.
So Tom, neither of us have watched Survivor. I'm assuming you haven't.
I have not watched it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so
I didn't watch
we're
it
not
yet.
going to talk about that today. Sorry, but I mean, I don't think it'll be anything that's going to top last week's madness anyway. Who knows?
Madness, dude. This season,
I'm into it. I'm into it.
Tuna has. Oh, did you miss it because of?
I was in the city.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got home too late, and then I was exhausted.
And your life almost, you almost died.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this season, what were you
right?
saying?
Okay, so I was just gonna say this season has been good. I'm enjoying it. I think Chris, you said you like the 90-minute episodes. I'm not a fan of the 90-minute episodes. I kind of want to go back to an hour.
I would like to go back to an hour if they would make the seasons longer.
Okay.
It really felt like the last 4 seasons, they only focused on basically the final people because there wasn't enough time.
Fair enough.
We didn't spend enough time with anyone.
Right.
But I agree. Like, it is long. It's definitely long.
Yeah. All right. No, it's just an interesting season. It's one where I've never seen so many people want to go home.
Say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Want to go home. Just like I've never been like, people are just like,
look, these are the weakest people to ever perform on this show that we've seen.
I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal. It's like
the game has been made easier by shortening the series, so they've now made the the contestants weaker to compensate for the challenge level. Feels like kind of what's happening here.
It does feel like that. That's how bad they are. That's how bad this is.
Checking out Australian Survivor. I've heard it is. I've heard it's incredible because it is a lot more like original Survivor, because it's still 39 days, and so it's like much more brutal and grueling like the old Survivor was. And I'm kind of interested in checking that out. But they gotta, like, I'm only gonna do it if they get it on like Paramount Plus. Paramount's gotta get it up.
Wait a minute.
They gotta add it to the
Where's the circle? I feel like we're missing some circle.
Yeah, where's both the circle and the mole?
I'm
wondering if they are holding on to these because of the strikes, and they probably know they have less content coming next year right now. So I'm wondering if they are starting to piecemeal stuff out, because we should have both of those already.
Yeah, the mole should have been out. I mean, and the circle really, we should have had a summer circle. I don't know what the hell's going on.
A summer circle.
Yes. I agree. The mole probably takes a little bit longer. It didn't get greenlit until the end of the year. So it's been like 10 months, I guess, since it's been greenlit. So I don't know if it would be ready or not yet, but the circle, like, there should be 2 or 3 seasons of that a year, to be honest, with how quickly it comes out and ends. And how easy it is to produce that show. They could film it for 2 fucking weeks. Like,
okay. Have you guys seen The Fall of the House of Usher?
No,
haven't gotten around to it. It's on the list.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, the one show that we were able to actually power through and get it done. Good.
What was the TikTok usage situation on this one?
Oh, none. Because it's a scary, and it's something that she wanted to watch. It's Mike Flanagan.
A scary fan?
Big time scary fan, and we have become big Flanagan fans. So
you should play Alan Wake.
He's done awesome stuff like Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, The Midnight Club. It's all good. It's been good.
You'll have to watch Haunting in Venice then with her when it comes out on streaming.
All right, sir.
It's good. It's spooky. You should watch Terrifier then.
Oh my
Who?
god. I would
Terrifier.
love to. I would love to
Terrifier.
hear both of their opinions
Which,
on that
by the
one.
way, Terrifier 3,
Mm-hmm.
the first promo image was just shown, and I cannot be more excited. I don't know how well this is going to show on the camera, but we'll see. It's taking place at Christmas, baby.
Oh,
Love it.
yeah.
Love it.
I am very excited for that. And it's also got a big, like, it's got a 7-figure budget for the first time. It's so, who knows?
Damn.
Who knows what's gonna happen
Damn.
with that movie? Very excited.
5 hours.
That's all I got. So, boys,
Well, have you been playing anything?
I mean, Walkabout
Well,
Mini
I-
Golf, but I assumed Chris
You've been
was gonna
playing
be-
Mario, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, but I figured Chris was going to cover that
Okay,
too because he's
alright.
been playing as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's get anything else out of the way, I guess, because we'll also talk about Spider-Man probably. We're not gonna do too much Spider-Man because
Spider-Man. So is
Alex said he's
Spider-Man-
gonna get it.
I'm going to try to start it tomorrow. Is what I'm going to try to do. That's the plan. Is I'm going to try to start it tomorrow.
Spider-Man plan.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Plan.
Spider-Man.
Because
Is he a menace?
if you start it tomorrow, Alex, we could talk about
Is he a
Spider-Man
menace?
next week, and we can do spoilers from up to everything you've played as well. You know, we can just talk about anything as far as you've gotten. So
Yes, sir.
I think you're gonna love it. I can't wait.
All right.
yeah,
Better
it's-
better gameplay than God of War Ragnarok.
honestly, it's some of the best mobility I've ever.
Yeah,
had.
imagine God of War
it's really fun.
Ragnarok gameplay, but Kratos can bounce around and ping pong off of enemies and swing webs. Like
I think,
Okay.
Alex, that
So
you'll probably
good.
still like God of War more because you'll like the theming more and the
Sure,
world a
yeah.
little bit better. That being said,
Yeah.
I think you're going to be really surprised by how much
I mean,
you like
look,
this because I like it a
Yeah.
lot more than I thought I would.
to me, I still say this. I still feel like God of War, and I don't even separate those two, God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Just because Ragnarok literally just felt like a continuation of the first game. Like I feel like if you'd have just packaged that as just one whole game,
Yeah, it's part 1 and
From-
part 2.
it's basically part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
So I don't really differentiate.
I
between
still
those
got to
two.
play part 2.
great
I
game.
like, yeah. great
Maybe
game.
I'll do
Can you
that.
believe
after
it's been
Spider-Man.
almost a year?
No, I can't believe it's almost been a year. Because when I saw the list of the 2023 games that came out this year, I was like, wait, God of War Ragnarok's not on that list? I was like, holy fuck, it's over.
Yeah, it was
been-
November of last year.
Yeah.
So other things that have happened. I went to go see Killers of the Flower Moon. Speaking
Oh.
of movies and good things to watch, incredible film.
Incredible film.
Yeah, incredible film. For
And
fans
you
of
didn't
the
mind that it
cinema,
was three. You didn't mind that it was 3.5 hours.
I mean, it's. I think it's impeccably paced.
Okay.
Everyone's performance is so engrossing, and the
Mhm.
tension that is being built. You know, it's about the slow systematic takedown of this Native American society, and
Right.
then the slow kind of justice that that happened, that or lack of justice that comes from that. Robert De Niro is literally go ahead. Yeah,
I was going to ask you about Robert De Niro because
Robbie
in the
D.
trailers,
Yep.
he's got an accent on that I don't think he's ever done in a movie before.
He
And
didn't sound out of place or anything.
He didn't. Did he
in the
not?
movie.
Because in
No.
the trailer for me, I was like, wait, whoa. But
What's going on, Bobby?
I didn't really notice him doing an accent. He is playing, his character is fantastic. I mean, I
Okay.
think every
All right.
one of the leads is going to get nominations this year.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing is like it's almost like Martin Scorsese went, okay, Robert, you've spent the last
Robert.
20 years playing crotchety old grandpas.
Yeah.
We're going to take that energy, but we're going to put it into the role of the shit we used to do with like Goodfellas and Godfather and all of that.
right.
And we're going to make that's going to be your character. It's going to be the merging of your two worlds. And it's a sight to behold. He does such a good job.
Okay.
Leo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, like everyone's on their game. It's written so the writing is just so snappy. It's maybe my favorite Scorsese film. Granted, I'm not a huge Scorsese super
okay.
nerd. There are a lot of blind spots for me with him. But I would say it's definitely up there. And it'll be coming to Apple TV at some point, I think before the end of the year, but it's in a limited release right now in cinemas. So I did that. And then yesterday we went to a New York Red Bulls MLS game. They played They played Charlotte Football Club. It was the wild card game of the playoffs, and they won 5-2. And I saw some amazing goals scored yesterday. So an amazing free kick.
Where do they where do they play?
Newark, New Jersey.
In Newark. Okay.
Yes. And yeah, it was a great time. Had a lot of fun with that. Those were the big things for me.
All right.
That's
Not
awesome.
gaming related. Played
That's
a lot
awesome.
of Spidey.
I need to go see LAFC. That sounds cool.
Yeah. And it's cheap because not huge. It's like $23 a ticket. It was great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yes.
Yep.
Amazing. Yeah.
It suits you. Yeah.
It does suit you.
It suits you.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know what's weird? Wait, hold on. You have to. Can we tell the listeners first of all what the hell just happened?
Okay. So I just put on this hat. It's a straw hat. It's a replica of the one that they made for a live action.
So it's a replica.
Yeah, and it's really high end. Like this isn't. So this wasn't made by a company who makes like props. This is made by a company who makes like fine, like hats, like menswear hats, like old fashioned. They're handmade hats. Like they're all like kind of expensive, but this is a real straw hat. And what's interesting about it is I've spent time trying to find one, and Matt himself is like, oh, I need like a good straw hat, but I can never find one. And this was like, when I saw it, I was like, well, I have to get this. This is what I've been looking for. The thing that was so shocking to me when I took it out, and it was like one of those moments where when you ever hold something like that's expensive and well made, it always feels different than the other versions of the things that you've touched. And in a way that you inexplicably didn't expect. It's either heavier or you're like, oh, this is like solid. There's no looseness. Like with this, look, it is so soft.
Yeah, it's kind of
in a way
I never flex that around.
I never would have anticipated this. And like every other like straw hat that I've seen or checked out, you know, they sound plasticky. A lot of the time they're not made of real straw, or it's like a composite. It has this on the inside, which is cool.
It has that on the inside.
It's like it's real leather on it. Like it's really well made. It's very nice.
What's
it comes with like a big hat box. The strap.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So are you going to be wearing this hat, or will this be
it's a thing for my room? Yeah, it's a thing for my room. Maybe I'll wear it, you know, during like an episode.
You could take it up to the roof.
Yeah, maybe if I go to a screening with Matt, maybe I'll wear it.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, it's not. I mean, it's the equivalent of like my Matrix sunglasses, basically. You know, like these. You know, it's the equivalent of that. So it's great.
I lost mine.
I really like it.
No, and it suits you, which is great. Like you look good in it.
I appreciate that. And honestly, Therese said the same. Therese goes, I don't want you to get the
especially
wrong
in
idea.
the shirt
she goes,
too.
Well, I wore this because I was like,
this.
I was like, this is like a Luffy outfit. I was like, you know, because I was like, so I need to wear something Luffy would wear with this. But Therese was like, I don't want you to get the wrong idea because the hat's kind of dumb, but it kind of looks good on you.
The hat's kind of dumb.
She's like,
great.
She was like, but I don't know why, but it kind of works. I was like, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great. Especially with you dressing like that. Obviously, you gotta wear it with specific outfits. But yeah, congrats. That's great.
I'm so happy with it. I gotta like truly. At some point, I know Alex will either jump back into the anime or bite the bullet and actually try to read manga and do it. And then he will get into it, and he would be so happy he did. I know you're actually just working on slowly watching it, Tom, but like this week's chapter came out, and it's still like it has just been consistently every week.
Is it in color or black and white? The manga,
it's in black and white. You know what's
the
wild
whole
though?
thing's still in black and white.
Well, manga in general is black and white.
No, I know, but you would I don't know. You'd think that maybe they would be like,
they
So
do
there,
it
I
to
can send you
to
a
make
website.
it cheaper.
Yeah,
Alex.
I get it.
I can send you a website because I will say there was a little bit of like getting used to reading the manga, left to right, like the ordering of things and it being in black and white when there's a lot happening on a page. Sometimes it can be hard to decipher a little bit.
Right.
There are so many fan colored versions of it that like there's a One Piece in color like website. I'll find the actual link for you, but people have literally colored in every single.
Wait, so then how did they decide on everyone's hair color and the hat color and all that? That was
So the
just
guy
anime?
so the anime has made guesses about things before and then had to change them in the future when Oda will do color like covers and volumes and stuff from time to time. And then when they do that, so like there's a character next season who originally had like in the anime, when they made the character, they gave her like very like tan, dark skin. But then when he released his color version, he was like, oh no, she's actually should be like of Russian descent and has like very fair skin. And then they had to completely change that. And then people were like really mad with the anime. And they're like, well, the anime is not the source material. This is just what the animators decided to do. Like it's his property. So there have been like weird mess ups, like hair colors have changed, like some things like that, and they've had to like walk it back. You would think at this point they would just go to him and be like, what are you gonna do here?
Right.
What are these colors gonna be? Can you pick that palette, please? Because we gotta animate this. But they don't. Or seemingly maybe he just didn't make his mind up or he changed it. Who knows? But yeah, it's great. It's truly one of the greatest stories ever told. It's fantastic. One other thing, and we're gonna talk about games. This is a game. I played dodgeball last night, so I'd take week 2 off because I got the flu COVID booster last week, and I just felt like death. I could not go play that game. Week 1, I was abysmal at dodgeball. This week, it's coming back. It's coming back. Week 1, I had tunnel vision. I was missing all my throws. I was catching garbage. This week, it was like my skill meter was rising. I was filling out my skill tree. I was getting some of my moves back. I had a wider field of view. Much better gameplay this week. So that being said, I think it's time to talk about the game that Tom and I have been playing, and then we'll talk about Wonder, because I think all of us have played Wonder.
Yeah, I played it.
Okay. I'm assuming Tom has. He hasn't said
Tom,
anything.
You
out
have
loud.
to talk.
Yes, I have.
This is a video
I nodded.
podcast.
I nodded.
This is not, but it doesn't. The listeners can't hear you nod, bitch.
Yes. No, I've played a smidge of Wonder. I have been putting as much time as I can into Spidey. So
yeah,
my
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna start off by saying the most important thing about Spider-Man, because it has changed everything about the PlayStation 5 for me.
Okay.
I've complained for a long time about the PlayStation 5 and its controller. And gentlemen, our long national nightmare.
Why did the lights go down?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh
our long national nightmare is now over.
What is that?
Oh my lord.
Introducing
my
pride and joy.
This is the Scuff, right? Is this
the Razer Wolverine?
Oh, Razer.
Scuff does not make an asymmetrical PlayStation 5 controller, but Razer does. And that's why I went to the Razer store in the mall.
That's
on
why
Sunday.
you rent.
Oh my god.
Store.
I'm playing Spider-Man all Saturday long.
And be like, why is there a Razer store? Who would go here to buy something? And we were like, yeah, we agree.
This really isn't that bad, though.
We'll get to it. I want to hear Chris's thoughts, and I want to talk about it.
My thumbs feel pretty good there.
I want to hear Chris's
We
thoughts.
talked about this. Long gaming sessions on that controller cramp my hands up. I find it to be uncomfortable for where the stick position is. And the biggest problem for me was Spider-Man has a lot of combos in it, right? Spider-Man has a lot of combos, and it has a lot of
you're definitely moving your fingers around a lot.
You're moving your fingers a lot, especially if you really want to like get good at like swinging and maneuvering throughout the city and not just be like hitting into buildings like an idiot. And because the whole time I'm still feeling uncomfortable with the controller, I'm never getting used to where the buttons are. So like I'm not pressing the combinations right because I'm never in a comfort mode, right? Like I'm always thinking about where things are on the fucking controller. And all Saturday it was driving me nuts to the point where I was like really annoyed with the game because like my hands were starting to cramp. Tom, I know you like the haptic triggers, but after a while, like if I'm playing a few hours, like I don't want I don't want to be fighting against my my trigger on the PlayStation 5. I know I could turn it off, but this doesn't have it, and I got to tell you, I appreciate that about it.
So wait, they don't.
It doesn't have the haptics. Okay. No, it doesn't have the haptics. It's really funny. It looks super thick because it has to be as fat as an Xbox controller for the way that it's designed, but it also as wide as the PlayStation controller, so it looks like super fat. I don't.
Looks good though. Looks
the
good.
LEDs are actually kind of cool.
Can you show? Can I see the back? What are we doing with the back paddles there?
So we got back paddles.
Okay. Okay. It's got interesting.
2 that are good, 2 that are shit. Kind of like most of the back paddles on controllers.
Sure.
It's the minute I held this controller and started playing, it was my gameplay improved exponentially. It was just, and I was able to play all day Sunday. No cramping, no discomfort. I'm nailing my combos. I'm swinging throughout the city like a pro. It's amazing. And now I'm like excited about the idea of playing God of War Ragnarok. I'm excited about playing my PlayStation because I never have to use my DualShock 5 ever again.
Yes.
DualSense. Not
I call
it the nonsense.
I call it the dual
nonsense.
Shit. Oh, okay. The dual nonsense. That's so funny because to me, I mean, I don't have any cramping issues, so I'm sure if like I had that, I would feel differently. But to me, the DualSense and the way that Spider-Man uses the haptics and the triggers is the first, like, if this game came out on both PlayStation and Xbox, I would buy it specifically for PlayStation for the haptics. I think it is easily the best representation we've had of that technology. I even texted Chris because when you get the black suit, when you get like the symbiote suit, the way that the controller's haptics change, and now all of the hits feel much heavier, and then you go into this kind of like rage mode, and like the controller, the speakers feel like the vibrations feel like they're blowing out, like the bass is just cranked up, and like the 3D audio, because I'm playing with the headset a lot, like all of that stuff that they touted for the PS5 that has really been kind of background, and it's fun in places and impressive in places, and like Astrobot was great for it. This is the first one where I'm like, oh, this changes the game for me. So it's a shame that it's uncomfortable for you because like I can't
I think it's fine
without
for a little bit, but for hours it's not. If I'm playing the game for like 5 hours, I'm not dealing with that. It's after a little while it gets kind of fatiguing on my hands, and that's not really like, you know, a fun thing.
Have you had that issue, Tunes? Like when you're playing God of War? No. Okay.
No, but it is a common complaint.
Sure, I'm sure that you're not the only person, but I'm glad that I don't have that.
I'm surprised you're saying this because games like Returnal and Ratchet and Clank have done more interesting things, in my opinion, where they have used guns where you can depress it and it'll feel like you're pressing it in all the way, but then you can click it even farther. It basically gives you like a secondary trigger on it, and I think that's more interesting than just feedback. But
yeah, I get
because that literally changes the function of the trigger. So it's very cool. It's cool,
just like the experience of like the swing, like the when you go from like a swing and then you go into the wingsuit, and like the way that the wings, it feels like it's rippling. It's very, very impressive. But don't you? I do agree.
It kind of lost its novelty after a little bit for me, and then after a while, it was more like, okay, well, it's more of a hindrance now than anything, is how I felt about it.
I mean, I think that it fades more into the background. It's a lot of background stuff, but when I tried to play it I was trying to play it in bed, and I was playing it like on the backbone on my phone, and I don't have any feedback there. I was like, oh, this really feels like a drastic change. I don't think the game would be shit without it, but I very much enjoy what they're doing, and Anyway, but in terms of the game itself, what are your thoughts, Chris?
All right, well, let's be careful not to spoil anything.
No,
because
yeah,
Alex is going to
no
actually
story
play it
stuff.
now too.
Yeah.
But
I will
I
say,
mean, Tom acts as if he doesn't spoil things all the time.
well, I'm just saying, let's be careful. And now let's just talk
Tom.
about the game and not talk about who spoils what.
Tom.
Wait, didn't you spoil Tom on something?
Yeah, he
once
does it.
that
He
was
does it
like-
all
Yeah.
the time. He's
Yeah,
sweeping
yeah,
under
yeah.
the rug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. There's two things that stand out. There's basically two major standout things to me about this game.
Mhm.
The main story
Mhm.
has continued to surprise me by how good it is. It is so big of a story, even though the game is like under 20 hours, that it feels like the equivalent of like almost 3 Spider-Man movies. Like it feels almost like a trilogy of or at least 2 Spider-Man movies in one fucking game. Like it's incredible how big this story is and how well done it is. Like it is one of, I think, the best written video games that I've ever played. As far it's very compelling. Like it's really it's up there with Spider-Man movies, I would say. Like it is.
Oh yeah,
it is definitely up there. And they take more liberties.
Better written than most
'cause-
Spider-Man movies, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
But also the side quests, the actual side quests, the FSNM side quests that you get from your cell phone. Those were there were some of them were better than the story missions. Like I wish there were 10 times as many of those. if they just put out a side quest story pack of like a dozen of those, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
They also, a lot of those also pay off things that were set up in the first game. Did you do the dove side quest?
I did the birds. Yeah, I did the birds. Yeah,
so
I've done. Okay, so I've done everything. I have one. I have. It says I have 2 story missions left. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if it's actually like 1 in the final story mission, like in a lot of games, is
like
kind
a
of
cinematic or something.
Yeah. So it feels like I have 1 left, but I have no side quests left. I have literally like at the very end of the game. Right.
That's awesome.
I'm about to 100% the game.
I'm glad you're enjoying it so much. Yeah, even the little stuff, because there's big side quests, setting up some really big things that I was like, oh, I can't
there's
wait
a new game
until
coming.
I can't wait until they pay this off. But then there are like that Dove side quest, which ties into I think that they wanted to correct, because that Dove side quest in the first game is so mundane. It's very much just like you have to find these like pigeons all over the city. And that was a lot of the issue with the first game, is there was a lot of monotony with the side stuff. And this one pays that off in like a very beautiful way, a very moving way. The emotion in just that mission alone, the emotion in the whole game is like so. Yeah.
That mission, it was obvious to me a handful of times that I was like, I bet this is a little bit better if I played the first game, but I could tell immediately like this was a character that's important to me, and it didn't matter that I didn't play the first game at all. And also, by the way, the previously on that they do at the start, because I never played Spider-Man 1, I played Miles Morales. The previously on is great, and that was the thing I told Alex, because Alex was like, well, I didn't play the last 2 games. I'm like, it's Spider-Man, you don't need to. Like, you know what this is. But the previously on was very good at being like, this is what's happening in this version of Spider-Man.
There's 1 or 2 things that the game catches you up. The previously on doesn't go into any of the stuff with Yuri, which
but
has the most
you get those things in their
quest.
conversations.
Yeah, you can pick it up. But it does a great job, I think, of making emotional moments that you get a little bit more from playing the first game. And there's like the meta-ness of like, oh, this was a great little side mission compared to the monotony of what it was in the first game. But the side stuff is so compelling, you want to do it. It's also
so good.
So well integrated into the world that it's not like, it doesn't feel like you're checking things off a checklist, like you're swinging and things are authentically happening. There's this, the game opens with a big battle, and the way that the game, like the wreckage in the city is like there persistent throughout the game, and that happens constantly in the game, where new things happen and it changes the environment. And like Chris said, the story to me feels like, speaking of One Piece, the live action One Piece, where it has the heart and the spirit of a Spider-Man, but they have all of these years of the story that they can look back on and smartly cobble together their own thing, much like in the way that One Piece did, with introducing Garp and these other characters and moving things around, and make it improving in a way. And this game is doing that. There are moments where I'm a little bit like shell shocked by what has happened, and I cannot wait to see where they're going. Chris keeps teasing me because he's like, oh my god, this thing just like this.
I'm a little annoyed you hadn't beat it yet because I'm
trying. I am playing as
and like
much
the other
as
people I know,
possibly
like
can.
Naeem, like I've seen people. I have talked about some stuff in the Discord. The Discord's been popping off since Spider-Man dropped. Everyone's been talking about Spider-Man in the Discord. I'm traditionally like the last person who enjoys a stealth game. This game is so much fun to play stealthy, especially if you're Miles, because Miles has like all these extra abilities. Like, Alex, you've seen Spider-Verse, like Miles can turn invisible. So like,
I've seen it.
Oh, like being able to like fuck up and then just go invisible and be like, they don't know where I am again. I can reset. Like you make a goof with your stealth while you're Miles. No problem. It's like an undo button. It is so fucking nice.
It's such a step up from the stealth stuff in the first game too. You have that web zip line that you could just like create. You can literally like make a fucking spider web. It's insane how many times you can like attach
that is
it.
Tom, I must have like it is my favorite thing. Let's say there's a bunch of thugs hanging around Alex and I gotta go. They're harassing someone. Maybe they're trying to abduct someone. And I'm like, Spider-Man gets called in. I show up. I could just go in and take all these guys out in like 30 seconds to a minute, or I'll take like 15 minutes and I will slowly, methodically pick off every single one of them without them knowing where I'm coming from. And that is how I've been playing the game, because it's so, I took this picture earlier of just like all these guys I've got webbed up. Every single one of them, not a single one of them attacked me because they didn't know where I was coming from the whole time.
Nice.
So satisfying.
So much fucking fun. Yeah. It's a great video game. It's a really good video game. Highly recommend it.
All right. I mean, I'll 20 out of 10. I'll try to play tomorrow.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, 20 out of 10. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's fine.
But Mario Wonder, you guys have been playing, and Chris sent us a spicy text about it.
He did.
Yeah, true. It's it was a bold thing to say, especially for someone who's only put out like an hour and a half into the game. So I'm still pretty early. But I did say to you guys that I think it might be the best 2D Mario game. Which is to me, that would be Super Mario World, for sure. Not any of the new Super Mario Brothers, and Super Mario World's better than the NES games. But there's something about this that reminds me a lot of Donkey Kong Country, with the collectibles and the secret worlds and the type of powers that like at least I don't know how many more new powers there are, but I've seen 2 of them already, and I like them a lot.
Are you talking about the Wonder Flower or the
like power
badges?
Power-ups.
You mean like the elephant thing? Gotcha.
Yeah, like the elephant. Yeah. Gotcha. I mean the badges also are great. I'm more interested because Alex, I believe, and you have definitely put in more time than me, I believe. So I'm more interested in what you guys think about this so far.
I love it. I think
it's with Chris.
I love it. I think it's great. I love that levels are short, sweet, very fun to play. I can pick it up, play for a little bit, put it down. I'm itching to play again, and I like the variety. It's a fucking great game. I got nothing but great things to say. Third world, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're mostly playing at night, like in bed?
Yeah. Like as soon as we're done here, I'll play a couple.
You just put the headphones in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Why'd you say it like that?
Well, I could put them on full blast.
Like your TikTok.
Yeah.
Like your Instagram reel. while Bird's trying to watch a thing. But if you start playing Super Mario Wonder before she puts Jersey Shore on, you're fine. You're in the
then
clear.
I'm good. Then I could play. I could be as loud as I want.
I like the idea of like Tuna running into the room,
now,
trying to get set up with his Instagram reel before she
the problem with the precedent that she just set with that phrase is I was on the phone before the movie started. Wait till you see what I'm gonna do now, okay? Because I will be that petty. I will definitely be that petty, and I will
my God,
fucking, like,
I love it.
Out of here.
I love
when are you gonna watch Survivor? Is that a weekend thing now for you?
No, I'll watch it maybe tomorrow morning if I wake up early. While Britt's getting ready for work and while Avery is just hanging out in her crib.
So Mario Wonder, the thing that I do find really interesting about it is visually and obviously the addition of all the like voice acting and the flowers talking and everything. It feels like they are paying more attention narratively to trying to make the Mario world feel more real, because I guess they're investing more in like, okay, if these characters are going to be something that like people are going to watch, we also, when you play that, kind of want to replicate that a little bit. Some of the changes, like the toads, like I like the new hat, like the twisty hat toads, at least in the first world, and like how the little toad house changes when like you jump on the flag at the end. But some of those like first levels that I played, especially, it's like, I mean, the one with the piranha plant, like it's all musical and stuff, and like the way like the world feels alive while you're playing it.
Oh yeah.
Is
so much animation going on.
Yeah. So is this like Wonder, like Alice in Wonderland? Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
a little bit, right? Is that like
sure.
kind of why? Because it feels like we're in a sort of like Wonderland version of the Mushroom Kingdom, which, let's be fair, is already kind of fucking weird. But this is like really weird for Mario.
Well, they smoke the Wonder Flower, and then but
pretty much.
But I mean that is it is meant to be, the review that Steve Watson and GameSpot and like a bunch of other places talked about is like, oh, the revelation of what's the new thing that, oh, it's wondrous, like this unique element, because there are very few repeating Wonder elements. Like there's maybe like one or two, but every level has a different thing, and so I think that's where it stems from. I dig it a lot. I think it's fun. I like the fact that there's no timer, so I can, because I'm not the best Mario player, like it's not something I've grown up with, so I don't have like a muscle memory for it. I really struggle with like the sliding and being like, people like run through these stuff, and I can't be running in these games, otherwise I'm fucking up. And I'm very methodical of like, how do I get over there? That's one of the things that is like a little bit of a detractor for me, and it's things other games do, like God of War Ragnarok, where it's like you'll be in an area and there'll be things that you can't do or things that you can't get until you unlock something, and you have to come back and do it. I wish that there was I know that that's kind of what these games are. It's like you replay the levels once you have everything to find all the things. I kind of wish, like, my OCD-ness, whatever.
Sure,
like,
you want to be able to just
I want to be done.
I
want to get all the bits and bobs. The badge system is so cool, though. I think that's such a great way to really mix up the formula. When we talk about how could they release a new Super Smash game and make it feel fresh, a badge system, like swapping out moves and stuff like that could be a way to really invent that.
They did.
They did that.
They've done that.
It just breaks balance. It's a fighting game. They just need to
something, though. You know what I mean? Like, this is just like
they need
really
to wipe
cool
all the character moves
and
start. Just every character should just have totally new moveset. That's what they need. Reset the clock on Smash.
But I think that's such a smart, because I was doing the thing where I was bouncing off of the wall, and I was like, I wish I could do a jump up before, and then I get that badge, and I'm like, now I want that. But the parachute hat is so useful, and I'm stressing about which badge I need to be using, and I'm like, okay, this is good. So yeah, totally digging it. And like Chris said, the world feels so alive, so many little animations. When those piranhas start their little parade, I am so tickled.
By the way, it still looks really good even on my 4K TV.
Yep.
like with this old fucking hardware,
Yeah.
if this new hardware is as powerful as all of these rumors, or like all these leaks are suggesting, this thing is like gonna be able to do like some like really impressive technical stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not anything like the current gen consoles, but it'll be able to make things that can look.
It'll be like a a Steam Deck.
Nintendo is like wizard.
ROG.
They're wizards. Like they're gonna be able to make these games look incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And supposedly this game has been done for a while.
Interesting.
Is what I was reading about it. That company is just unbelievable. It's gonna be a shame, I think, if quality dips as the old guard, because I feel like we're reaching, there's like people who are making these games that were around, like when they first started making Mario games. I don't know if that's still going to be true much longer. And I hope like the new directors on these games are going to be good enough to like continue to push that forward, because it is very much like Nintendo and Disney have that same record of like waxing and waning on quality. Even when they're at their lower points, they're still putting out like stuff that is incredible. But Nintendo is like, I mean, they're at their
how many
peak
games
right
does
now.
Miyamoto have? Like probably not a lot.
I mean,
like, is he gonna go through the entire next generation? I don't know.
I mean, and he's mostly been focusing on like the parks, like that has like been where his time has been spent, is stuff like that. It's like, so it's gonna be interesting. I hope they have done well to keep this train going, because I would really like another one of these. And not, when the new Super Mario Brothers came out, I was excited because I was like, cool, a new 2D Mario. And at the time it was fine compared to like what this is. That was fucking garbage. That game sucked. And Nintendo doesn't like to repeat themselves, but every now and then, like I would just make a new Super Mario Wonders 2. I'll play it.
Yeah. They made a shit ton of those new Super Mario Bros. Games.
Look, if they can make Tears of the Kingdom, they can make a Super Mario Brothers 1 or 2.
Yeah. We're gonna have Mario gluing stuff together.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Give Mario the.
And have they done this before? Granted, but I love the fact that like the map, the overworld map, like you're going along paths, but there are open areas and there's like hidden stuff. And there's
so this is one of the things that reminds me of Donkey Kong Country. And again, this is where like there were rumors for a while now, and this is where the info about like, oh, this game has been cooked and done for a while. Rumors have that team's actually been now working on a Donkey Kong Country title. The Mario team has been. And I hope that's
made Wonder.
Yeah. I hope that's true. I really hope that's true, because Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo had a lot of that stuff. It had like these collectibles. They were like hitting coins and things. And if you got enough of them, you unlock the secret world, and then you can unlock the secret levels in the secret world.
What do I do with the gold coins in this game? Do you know?
One up.
100
give you one up.
Yeah, it's just for lives. Yeah, it's just for lives.
Okay. I didn't know how that was working.
The other thing the Donkey Kong Country games had were secret places. Like the first game was you're like on a track, like you had to move from one to the next, but there were some like hidden gems. But by the third one, you could like freely move in the overworld in certain places, and there were hidden things in the overworld as well. And this feels like very much cut from that cloth. So it's great. Donkey Kong Country 3 has a lot of really cool stuff, but Nintendo and Rare back then, like it kind of just got abandoned. They never went back to that stuff. So this is very cool to see. Do we have anything else? We can talk news.
We can talk news.
Oh, Alex is getting his Walkabout mini golf club. I'm very excited.
I'm getting the club tomorrow.
I'm very excited to play against you when you have it.
That goes playing Spider-Man tomorrow out the window.
No, because here's what's gonna happen. Because I'm still not as good with the club as I was with the controller. There's a learning curve. Alex is gonna play with it, and he's gonna have what happened to me, where he's gonna play one game. He's gonna be like, I fucking suck now. And then he's going to not want to play it anymore for the rest of the day because he's going to be so mad.
It's like, I'm going to go play
Alex, if you're good with it right away, I'm going to be so fucking annoyed.
well, we shall see. We shall see.
Alex is now going to, like, when he gets it, he's going to just secretly play for, like, hours so that he can be like, oh, Chris, I'm going to try this out for the first time. Why don't you come play with me?
Yeah.
We got news, Tom?
We do. All right. Before we get into gaming news, next week I'm going to be doing a fundraising stream on Halloween. For those interested, 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be giving away some games. Some of the games that we've mentioned today, Spidey. I have my digital copy from my the collector's edition that I got. Going to be giving away Mario, a couple of the recent releases. We're going to be raising money for medical aid for Palestinians. So that will be Tuesday, October 31st, 6 p.m. Eastern. So twitch.tv/GreatBriTom. Please join me. Maybe we'll play some mini golf.
If you want to hit the links. Oh, we could do the haunted house course.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I want to play some Alan Wake. I'm gonna jump into Alan Wake then, I think, because apparently the game is amazing. And yeah, we can play some spooky golf. But that'll be next Tuesday, October 31st, is 6 p.m. Eastern.
Now, is that Tuesday or any day that we choose?
It's any day you choose as long as it's a Tuesday. Fun fact, Tuesday too, Tuna's day. Okay, so Tuna's day. So next Tuesday, October 31st. Xbox had a partner preview little showcase.
I totally meant to watch this. Tell me about it.
Some cool things here and there. The next Like a Dragon game, which is titled Infinite Wealth. It will be you'll have both of the leads from the previous Like a Dragon games, and then the lead character in Like a Dragon 7 has a mini game feature. Mini games a huge part of the Yakuza games. Well, they're called Like a Dragon now to match the Japanese title. But there's this thing called Dondoko Island, and it's essentially a full Animal Crossing game within Like a Dragon. It shows you this island off of the Honolulu. This game's set in Hawaii, and you can customize it. You can build it out with your house. There's characters and a bunch of other things. People got very excited about this. Either of you play these games, or they're on Game Pass?
But they have like a really popular fan base, and it's one of those things that now anytime there's too many games in a series, sometimes it almost feels impenetrable to begin.
Yes,
but I've heard they're very cool.
Yes,
I've heard they're very cool games.
I played a little bit of Like a Dragon 7 at the launch of the Xbox, because I think that of Series X, because it came out and it was fun. I don't think this is a turn-based thing, though. I think it's a different gameplay system, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's probably like the other Yakuza games then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's more traditional. But yeah, that'll be coming out in January next year. So look forward to that. We didn't see I wouldn't say gameplay. It's an in-engine look at Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 that Konami is putting out. We still don't know what team is making it, but we do know that the game is in Unreal Engine 5, and the footage looks incredibly impressive. The mud, like all of the mud, like the way it's dripping and hanging off of Snake's body, very cool. We saw Alan Wake 2 got its launch trailer. That game has received glowing reviews. I think it has like a 90 on OpenCritic or something like that. Like, it's one of the highest reviewed games of the year.
A lot of great games came out this year.
It's nuts. I was actually sharing with Tuna and Chris the fact that this will be GameSpot's 5th 10 out of 10 this year, and we've only ever given out 27 total 10 out of 10s.
You can make that even higher if you go and do a review for Walkabout Mini Golf.
Did it come out? Did Walkabout even come out this year?
For the PlayStation,
the PlayStation, sure. Yeah. Maybe I'll see if we can
I'll tell you what,
that one in there.
I'll tell you what, I played that game with someone who Tom and I are friends with, and he's actually like works at MetaQuest right now. He's been like working there recently, so he's new to VR in a way, but like very deep in it. And he hadn't played this game yet, but he kept hearing about it. So he's like, okay, I have to look at this game. He was immediately like, I understand right away why everyone is apparently obsessed with this game. He was like, I didn't think I would care about it because it's like, whatever, it's golf. It is. He was still like, I get it. I get it right away. It's so nice to be in here. Everything looks great.
It's so nice to be in it.
It is. It's a joy to be in that world, Tom. And
I agree.
It is. It's in the top. It's like the top, one of the top selling games on like every VR platform.
I believe it.
Which is pretty impressive.
I believe that.
10 out of 10. GameSpot, come to.
Yeah, we'll see. And then there was a bunch of other things. The finals, which is that extraction.
Oh yeah, that looked cool.
It's a cool. I played the first beta or alpha that was on PC. I was terrible at it, but it was cool. It has a lot of procedural like destruction, like you blow up a side of a building and like the actual wall blows apart. So it's pretty cool. But it has an open beta this weekend, and that open beta is also on console now, so you can play it on Series X, where it's been exclusive to PC. All the betas that they've done so far. Yeah, honestly, out of all of the like these looter shooter extraction things, this looks the most interesting because it has that the ability of the map to like crumble and all that.
Yeah, and also the game show theming is important. I think like it makes it seem fun. A lot of those extraction shooters always feel a little too like serious, like, and whereas this, it's almost kind of goofy in a way. Isn't that Marathon game that Bungie's making an extraction shooter?
I don't know. All these games are blurring into one. I think it is an extraction thing. We'll see what Marathon ends up.
I wonder
being.
why everyone's chasing extraction shooters. Is it because none of them have ever exploded like the other genres, and so but they're good, so they're just hoping like, hey, we'll be the, because it feels like everyone learned from chasing Fortnite. There isn't really going to be more than one or two big battle royales at a time.
Yeah.
So maybe everyone's like, well, what's another genre we can try and be the niche that we like?
Well, it's just one of those kind of inevitable things where it's like the moment something becomes popular, now everyone needs to make one, and by the time that they release, even by the time that they're announced, it's like there's already such a bloat to the genre, which is what happened with Battle Royale. All of these games were announced, and everyone knew at the time of announcement that they didn't fucking stand a chance, and it's too late. Like, they've got to keep working on it. They can't just, they have to like shoot their shot, and so many shots miss, and we're gonna see that with these extraction shooters. But hopefully the finals will be a different story, because it does look cool. And there was a bunch of smaller things there, but yeah, that was the highlights, I would say, the most kind of biggest pops from the preview program. I mean, that's exciting. I thought you were about to say for all news, but that's really the only big thing that's happened this week. Well, Microsoft reorged. Okay. And they now have, pending whoever takes over for Bobby Kotick, more women leadership than men, which is the only place where that would be in the gaming industry, which is interesting. Sarah Bond is the new president at Xbox. Phil Spencer is now the CEO at Xbox, and they reorged. It's just interesting. It's never happened. It's like, the first time for any of the major games companies. And you might think that doesn't matter, but they now own more franchises than basically any other, like Microsoft's in a position where they're basically going to become the Netflix of games that they want to, or it's going to shatter, and all of these things are going to end up in a million other places in like 10 to 15 years. But one, or like whatever happens with Microsoft's either going to be very boring and sad, or very interesting and awesome. And it'll be probably pretty obvious to us in the next like 5 years or so. Yeah, one of the other interesting things about that reorg is that Bethesda has now moved under Matt Booty. Yes, Matt Booty has overseen Xbox Game Studios, and Bethesda was still very much operating on its own thing. But I think after this year of Redfall being a complete miss and Starfield being whatever Starfield was. And especially, I think, with the upcoming integration of Activision, they have realized that there's more of a need to like get this stuff consistently.
We need oversight from the team that hasn't put Perfect Dark out, or any who didn't manage to get Crackdown correct, who flopped Halo, who that's what Bethesda needs, is the oversight of Microsoft.
It is interesting because it's in one way. Yeah, it's interesting. Now
that you say that, it could be worse for them.
Well, not necessarily. It just in the sense of like,
won't be, but
it's one of those things where you make an excellent point, but also like the integration, I think, needs to happen as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It was never realistic to think that these companies were always going to operate as independently as they were.
Yeah, of course.
So that makes sense.
Hopefully it goes well. I think that as much as I have a lot of mixed feelings about Microsoft being able to gobble up all these companies, it's happened now, and hopefully it doesn't mean the death of all these studios, and it means that they are given new life. But we'll see how this all plays out. It's going to be an exciting couple of years, interesting couple of years for sure.
There's one other piece which I think probably wasn't on your radar, but Rocktober looks to be coming and going without any announcements. Recently, there was a
Rockstar.
Yeah, so they do their big announcements in October. That's when they announce their game. Like traditionally, that's when Grand Theft Auto has always been announced. They call it Rocktober.
Right.
There was a tweet that just said soon recently.
So Rockstar?
And there was
Really?
basically the GTA forums have been going nuts. Like everything has been saying like it is coming, especially with like the leaks and everything else. We know how far along the game is. I think there was like a financial report that said like the next fiscal year they had like a big release coming. So like the anticipation is like we're getting it probably in 2025. So we're going to see it soon, or possibly it's going to be announced for next year, but it probably won't actually come out like or for the next fiscal year. So I don't know. I was kind of hoping to see it, but I mean, there's still a few days left.
I don't know what tweet you're referring to about.
There was something from someone I don't remember.
So here's the thing about the Rockstar thing is a lot of this is just conjecture. And a lot of this is not actually based on any kind of evidence, or because we were going to have an episode of Spot On this week that was going to cover...
okay. So they posted a picture. They posted a tweet.
Uh-huh.
And it seems... So here's the thing. It's one of those things you can read into, but it's also very much like...
Well, the GTA crowd likes to read into...
It's a very specific like pose that they set up. They
took a
picture of two characters.
Rockstar Games.
So that they took a picture of two characters for the Moon Festival, which, by the way, Tom, so the Moon Festival is a festival that takes place, I believe it's in China, and what's really cool is there's a level in Walkabout Mini Golf where it is celebrating the Moon Festival, and it turns out that the day of the Moon Festival, Alex and I were playing that game, and we played that level, and the Fox Hunt, which is where you like find the clubs, was all about finding like moon pies for the Moon Festival, which was like amazing. That we just like, it was just fortuitous that we happened to do that on that day, like completely unplanned, which was really cool. But yeah, so they posted a picture of two characters to show off like a t-shirt they're wearing to celebrate the Moon Festival.
This was in September.
In front of Vinewood, the sign, but they're covering up everything so you see the VI, the 6.
Right. That's nothing.
Well, you say that's nothing, but that's also Rockstar.
Sure, but but the amount of like extrapolation of people like reading
Tom, I want to feed into the hype cycle.
Yeah, I think that's not great. because if you look a piece of it was either last week or this week, Todd Howard came out and he said, yeah, the reason we announced that Elder Scrolls 6 was in development so early was because people wouldn't stop fucking emailing us, trying to find out, DMing us what's going on with Elder Scrolls 6, what's going on with Elder Scrolls 6. So we fucking announced it. And now the problem is that it's backfired because Elder Scrolls 6 isn't coming for like another half decade at least, and now they're like, you know, in a different situation. Granted, I do not think we will see GTA 6 any later than 2025, so I think we're going to hear something sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
but
also, I mean, Elder Scrolls 6 hasn't leaked in a playable, like people have literally like roamed around in the like early map builds of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Right.
You know, like so much of that game is out there at this point that it's surprising.
Yes, a game. I wouldn't know if I'd call it the game is out there, but like builds of the world and character and like assets and stuff.
Assets and well, when I say so much of the game is out there, there's a 60-page PDF that details everything in a game that hasn't been announced.
Did you see the fact that people are cosplaying as the lead characters already before like it's even been announced? Like,
so like
it's the fervor around this game is nuts.
Which, by the way, it's the idea that like, so this one supposedly it's going to be 2 characters instead of 3 like the last one. Right. And it's like a Bonnie and Clyde with the 2 characters is what they're doing.
It's gonna be great.
And I felt like for a moment I felt like, why are we going to Vice City again? And I only say that because I just think geographically it's maybe not as interesting of a place.
It's very flat and it's very swampy.
and it's also like kind of a small city.
Sure.
Right. And I want like a big map, but it seems like there's going to be so much more of Florida anyway.
Densely
so
packed,
that's gonna I hope they have like a fake Disney World kind of a thing.
Their original plan was to do like the Americas, like they were going to do a condensed, and then they were like, well, can't do that, that's impossible. So
but the other thing with GTA is like, you know, it's a lampooning franchise, right? It's satire about America, and part of me is like, satire is kind of dead. Like it's really kind of, but then I think about like, you know what, they're putting it in Florida. This is actually a gold mine. They're literally just making the Florida Man game.
Yeah,
we're making it's GTA 6 Florida Man is what this game is going to be. So that actually is exciting.
Bath salts. I'm excited about it.
Spider-Man with the city being as incredibly detailed and Alex, it's going to kind of blow you away. It's the first like open world in a little bit that's like really kind of blown me away. And it has made me be like, oh, I'm ready to get up to some fucking nonsense again. I'm ready. Like, that's the one thing I can't do in Spider-Man that I wish I could. Like, I wish I could just get up to fucking hijinks like I can in Grand Theft Auto. So I'm ready.
Like web of pedestrian, like stealth web of pedestrians. That'd be funny.
Let me just go. Let me play as Venom and be bad and just like go, you know, cause like mayhem.
All right. What the heck is that?
What the fuck just happened?
Balloons.
What?
Wait, what just happened?
Balloons happened, Chris.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do anything. I haven't touched anything. Tuna, did you?
I didn't do it. No.
What? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, the balloons just went, but they went behind you too. Like they used the depth effect. Yeah, that was wild.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I know you didn't. I didn't see you touch anything. You had both your arms like this, like you couldn't have done anything. It must have just been a glitch. Right. Maybe we said something that Zoom. Wait, congratulations. No, okay. I thought maybe Zoom had like
like congratulations.
Yeah. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mayhem.
Okay.
Like what was the last word I said?
Venom, I think you said, and that made it pop off.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right. Little mail, and then we'll go home.
I love it.
Email at unrankedpodcast.com. It's email at unrankedpodcast.com. Or you can do my favorite thing, which is to call in 805-738-8692. That's 80. Just open your phone. Unlock it. Have you done it?
Type it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me?
Wow. Now you're going to go to the phone. You're going to dial in 805-738-8692. You're going to call. Leave us a voicemail. Whatever it is. You don't have a question, chime in. I want to hear it. Or you can go to the show notes, go to the Discord. A lot of ways to get at us. We love it. Let's do it. Okay. from Spiffy. What are your opinions on people who eat grocery store food while they shop, like before they pay for it?
Okay, so this is a point of contention with me and Britt. I don't like it. She does it. I don't like it.
What is she doing? What is she eating? What is going on?
She will, like, a bag of chips, grab it off, open the bag, start eating. She gives, I mean, the other time too, she's got a grazer. She's giving it to the kid as well. And I'm like, I just don't like, she'll open up a box of crackers for her. And I'm like, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. So there you go. There's my opinion of it.
Brittany would not like all the things Therese and I were saying about some other woman who we saw just chowing down, holding the lineup at the grocery store because she's moving really slow, putting her stuff on the fucking conveyor belt because she's got her other hand holding her bag of chips that she's been eating. So she's got her chip bag open. So she's one hand moving stuff, taking a break, grabbing some more chips, shoving them in her fucking face while she's then going back to putting more stuff onto the conveyor belt, making it go a lot slower. I think people that do that are fucking out of their mind. That's outrageous. That is outrageous.
Out of their mind.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you know this when you married her?
No.
Would it have changed anything if you had?
No, but granted, it doesn't happen every time, and it's actually only a recent development that I've even noticed it. Like, it never used to happen when we used to go grocery shopping before the pandemic. Post-pandemic, granted, we don't go that often. We don't go that often. I guess it's more so for the kid. I mean, if she's hungry, but I'm like, why don't we just grab her a snack at home that she could just snacked on now? Why do we have to open up this big bag? And we opened up a big bag of chips, and I was like, why are we opening a huge fucking bag of chips? She's not gonna eat this whole bag.
I'd be like, here's the card. You do the checkout. Like, I'm not gonna be near.
I can't know you.
I'm gonna get stuff from the other aisle.
I'm not incredibly offended by it. I would be annoyed if I'd ever been in a situation where someone did it and they'd held up the line or they'd caused like a thing that annoyed me and it was because they were snacking or whatever. I totally get that. I've never been in that situation. I've done it.
Of course you have.
How do you guys feel about a drink?
You're an animal.
Like going like
no, I couldn't do a drink either.
No, you're an animal.
Do it.
We did it.
I'm sorry.
We were at Walmart recently and we grabbed a Diet Coke and
you haven't bought it yet. You technically have stolen it at that point.
Yeah, you haven't bought it yet. And also, we lived through the pandemic. We learned about how fucking disgusting grocery stores are. I do not want people adding their fucking saliva, like, just additionally to the mix by also going into, like, starting, like, look, you're not going to deal with that with the drink, so I'll give you that in the drink. But, like, when people are, like, you know, eating chips and they're putting their chips in their fucking mouth and then they're touching other stuff in the don't fucking do it. Don't eat.
I don't think I've ever done it with food.
Don't do it.
I don't think I've ever done it with food. Maybe once I was I need a snack.
He's
right
a
now.
feed. He's a feed. He's in there chowing down.
Yeah,
everything he puts
meal.
Everything he puts down.
I go to Target. I get a thing. I go to the electronics aisle, open up the microwave.
Yeah.
Pop it in. get the frozen burrito, take it to go. It's great.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not horribly offended by it, but I also would have I may have done it a couple of times, but I could count on my fingers the amount of times I've done that.
I can't understand it.
And drinks, I kind of don't have a problem with because we were just like very parched and we're like, grab a Diet Coke as we do the grocery shop. You know, I mean, you go to Target, like we'll get a Starbucks and the Target Starbucks sometimes and walk around with that. The only difference there is I've paid it. Right. So you have a problem with the paying.
Yeah. Yes. You gotta pay before you play.
Pay to play. Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. Oh, there you go. There you go, Spiffy.
There it is.
Hope that was the answer you were looking for.
And we got it's gonna take too long.
Okay.
Next.
It'll take too long. We're at time. We're at the end of the show. We got to do post show. So we'll do next time. It's a good one though. And want us to rank power ups
Oh, that's gonna take
Super
too long.
Mario.
It's gonna take too long.
That's
If I want to do it right, it's gonna take too long.
yeah. That's we'll do it another time.
That's a whole
You know,
episode right there.
So that's that is.
Uh-huh.
Suck it, Spidey.
Ooh.
I'm
There you
getting a
go.
drink real quick.
Oh, stay unranked.
Stay in ranks and suck it.